All right, all right, all right. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fivers Futures live broadcast. I am Dave, your host, and today's going to be another fun and exciting day in the markets. We've already got some movements. We'll be looking at the indices. We'll be looking at oil that made a crazy move yesterday after that 119 peak, and we'll see if we can get some trades going. We'll see what we can make happen. So, welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, Remember to like, remember to subscribe, and let's see what we can get into today. So, I'm looking at the MNQ right now. I took a quick scalp before the broadcast. I think I could turn my trades on so you could see. Let's get the lines out of the way. Let me show you. So it's going to show my trade execution in a few. So this was a quick scalp. Entered here, exited here, and I'm going to explain the logic behind it. How much was that? That was a quick 25 points. Quick 25-point win. So we're up $50 for the day so far. And here is the logic behind it. So, as usual, I drew my levels a little bit before market open, and today we're going to draw the levels on some other assets. I'll show you how I go about that. So I have my volume profile. You know what? Let's mute the music for a second. It's kind of distracting right now since we're getting into it. Let me make sure, before I explain this, let me make sure everything is running smoothly and that we are actually broadcasting live. Everything looks good. Let's see, let's see, let's see. All right. All right, now you can see my levels. I forgot to show you. All right, now, so like I was saying, I took a quick scalp this morning, entered here and exited here for a quick 25-point win. And we'll see what else we can get into. That was on the MNQ. And the logic behind the trade was this. We, trended down. So this to me looked like a pullback. We had tapped into liquidity from the Asia highs right here. And I had my trend line there. What I usually like to do is take trend line breaks. So we moved down. We tapped into that previous area of consolidation. I already had my level there. And as I saw volume coming in again, I entered long as we took the break of this trend line. I had a second trend line there because we had, a fake breakout. And I have to tell you, during volatility, like what's going on right now, the geopolitical situations, we will tend to get a lot of fake outs. So to me, this might have been another fake out, which is why I exited there when we reached what I valued to be the possible rejection level, and got out there. So we'll see what happens. It's possible that we'll get, another move back down, maybe some type of consolidation here at the, 24 890 level. Maybe we'll check a little bit lower than that. We'll see in the 24 830s, and we'll see what happens. Or maybe we'll just continue higher. But I don't want to necessarily hold into the open. I know it's about 30 minutes to the open. And I might be wrong. This might just take off, but we'll see. We'll have to wait for other opportunities. I'm trading with small size. I am very small size. My take trading micros, trading, single contracts, double contracts. And yeah, this is the live chat account. So I want you to see everything that's going on there. And yeah, so do we have some people in the house, in the building? Say hello. Tell me where you're from, where you're watching from, what are you trading, what are you getting into, how was your day yesterday. There's something I want to highlight, and I'll maybe highlight it a little bit further in. All right, we have Stuart in the house. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome. Um, yeah, yesterday we traded the ES, and somebody was asking about W bottoms, and I'll get into that yesterday. Unfortunately, I didn't catch that move, which was pretty massive yesterday. I mean, for any asset. Um, sorry, I have my phone vibrating. Yeah, this was a massive move on the ES yesterday. Let's see, we did yeah, 100 about 170 points from the low to the peak of the high. That's that's pretty intense. It's like more than 3 times the average displacement. All right, we have Spain in the house. Okay, ¿cómo está usted? I know a little bit of Spanish. I'm not that great. But all right, Stuart, what are you looking to trade today? Have you traded already? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. And for everybody's watching, remember to like, remember to subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. Click that notification button. Let me know. All right. So yeah, we're looking at the micros. So right now, we'll see what I have no bias today. I realized that yesterday I was short biased and I missed the long completely. Everything I was looking at were, short entries. So we'll see. Maybe we get a rejection here, and then maybe we get some type of reversal pattern here. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully we could take some opportunities, right? All right. So since I have my levels ready on the MNQ, we're going to take a look at the ES right now, and I will walk you through how I get ready for the day. So first thing I usually do is, so I'm on Black Arrow right now, by the way, the platform we're using for the Fivers futures. I will turn on my volume profile. I have it already anchored to the days open. And then I will mark my point of control lines. And I'll usually, well, even though we're dealing with, yeah, we're dealing with wide ranges. So this is pretty low. I usually wouldn't mark it, but I'll mark it there. All right. Stuart says he's looking at ES and NQ this afternoon. Nice. So we're looking at the same things. Very good. My two favorite assets to trade. All right. So now that I have my point of controls marked out, I will look for my price levels. So usually what I do is use both the candlestick patterns, and let's go to a higher time frame. Let's go to a 15-minute. Look at the candlestick patterns where we had support and resistance levels, how price reacted, and there I will mark them out. So this is usually where I would mark a level, but since we have the point of control there, we don't need to mark out this level. We see we had some rejection during the during yesterday afternoon around, what was that, 3:30. And so I'll take that into consideration. Let me copy this level there. And usually I'm looking for multiple points of confirmation. We could see this was a kind of a high volume node there. So this is an area I'll be looking at. This is definitely an area of interest for me. So I'll put this here. So we reacted nicely. We reacted here, reacted here, reacted here. So this is an area of interest for me. And I think as long as we stay above that area here, we are probably bullish. So we'll see. So now we have kind of this range here, not too many levels for me to look at apart from that, unless we're, really moving down. And if we decide to trend higher, so this would be an old low volume node. So we didn't have a lot of volume. Remember, for those who don't know, the volume profile shows you volume at price. So for example, here is where the most volume was traded. Let me highlight it right here, right? So the most volume so far for this session has been traded at this level, which makes it an area of interest for me. It's around the 790s, 790. So yeah. And then the next thing I do is try and find the trend. So the speed at which price is moving, because the velocity at which the price is moving tells us a lot. By the way, this orange line is VWAP for me. I could turn it off for a while. And I trace my trend line in an unconventional way for some. I don't use closes or wicks to trace them. I usually use the line chart because to me it simplifies it and tells me a clearer picture of how the price is moving, and you will see the peaks there. And then I'll adjust these lines a little bit based on how the candles are, but I will get my overall direction based on how the line chart is. And then we'll switch back to the candles in a bit. All right. So we have this. This is actually my favorite setup. I call it the reversal trade. So usually what I'm looking at is like an initial up move, a pullback, a break of the trend line. And I will usually enter here and aim for a first take profit. If I could put, so usually, unfortunately, this is right before the open, but usually I'll enter here, I'll risk the prior low, and then my first take profit will be a little bit lower. You would usually be, let me put this like that. We usually be around here, around this pocket, because previous support becomes neck resistance. So I would take my first profit there, and then I would look to take my second profit above these highs. And if I have more contracts, I would let the rest run. I would take partials, but we're trading small size now, so not looking to do that right now. All right, so that is it for the ES. We'll see how things go. What I'll do is put a little line in the sand like I did for the Yen Q. So in case we get a fake rejection here, I'll change the color and I'll put it something like that, like blue or whatever, just so that it can keep my attention. And then I'll bounce around from, this chart with all the lines and from my clean trading layout. Eventually, I want to trade completely naked charts. So that's one goal of mine. So we'll see, especially when I'm, day trading and scalping. So we'll see what happens today. All right. Where else? We have somebody from Spain, which is good, but I see other people here. So let me know where you're from. Drop it in the chat. Remember to like, remember to subscribe to the channel. And I'm wishing everyone a successful trading day. We'll see what we can get into and if we can get some good setups today. Let's put a little bit of a background music right now. Calm us down. All right, so we looked at the ES. We have some good levels of interest for today. We just looked at the NQ. I'm looking at the micros, by the way. For those who didn't see, I took a quick scalp today, this morning, 25-point win. That was just as I was about to go live. So we'll see. We're gonna let everything open. We're seeing some rejection here, so we'll see what happens. And now let's take a look at gold. What has gold been doing? We'll go to the daily chart. All right, so we had an initial sell-off here, which yesterday I was explaining was probably fund managers reacting to the war. So this is a daily chart, by the way, reacting to the war. We also got to a technical level where my yellow line is here, where even if there wasn't any war going on, we could have expected, a little bit of a sell-off. So not too surprising at all. Let's take a quick look at the hourly chart. All right. So for those who are unaware, every week we send out a newsletter, and in that newsletter I highlight some support, resistance, and inflection areas for gold, for oil, for the ES and the NQ, and these are the levels we sent out yesterday on Monday. So we could see how gold did this big pullback here. How much points was this? This was about 400 points. So that's a significant move there. And then, we reacted well here off of previous support area. And we're getting to what I marked out as my inflection area, which lines up with the prior week's inflection area. And by inflection, I mean the area where, it's kind of a line in the sand. It's the area that decides whether we're going to be bullish, more bullish, or bearish. And in my opinion, as long as we stay above this 5,200 line, right? So here between 5,100, which is my longer term inflection, which represents about 50% of this big down move here. As long as we stay above this blue line here, we are bullish longer term. Now, shorter term, so basically for the week, as long as we stay above this inflection area of 5,200, I think we're bullish. And so far, this move right now, it's an hourly chart, is looking good. We've been climbing up since yesterday. We've reacted well off of that support area. We've got a little, I could trace it there. We have a little trend going like that. So if I were to look at this like this, and maybe we do one standard deviation above to this prior level here, if we continue a nice little trend like that, throughout the week, this would be good. And maybe we get a breakout and a move higher and go target these levels. We get a breakout of this trend and form a secondary, another higher high, and our lows move up higher, and we go target this prior resistance, and eventually we'll go target these prior highs. In war times, big money move to safe haven assets. Now, we've talked about on our recent posts the Swiss franc, we've talked about the Japanese yen, but in my opinion, gold is also long-term safe haven. So we'll see what happens with gold. Now, Let's take a quick look at our friend because we're 10 minutes. So we got 10 minutes till the open. We'll look at our friend oil. So I don't know if you guys saw it, but we had a massive move down. This is pretty significant. We had, so first the attack was done on the 27th. So around here, down there, right? Let me zoom in. So bombing started on the 27th. So we had a huge spike up and we thought, well, at least I thought this was significant for oil, right? We moved from the 67s all the way up to 75 plus, so about 10 point move higher, which was insane in my opinion. And in about a week we went from 70, the 70s, 75, all the way up to 119. I think the peak to yesterday was 119, 119.48. So in less than a week, a move like that is pretty significant, going from the 65, 67s all the way up to there. How much is that? Yeah, 51 points for oil in less than a week. That is insane, right? Insane. The last time we saw oil move, touch the hundreds was during the Ukraine war, when that broke out. And we'll take a look at that after. I'll open TradingView so we can look at the historical data. But this to me is uncertainty, right? So this was panic. This move up, especially this last part here, this last run up, this was panic. And then this here, this move down, of course, is a sell-off. But what's happening around here, this is uncertainty. So we shouldn't discount the fact that on a strictly technical perspective, I'm not even going to go macro yet. On a strictly technical perspective, this resistance, this prior resistance that we had here, let me continue it here, right? This might be where we break out again and then go target, prior levels. This is not impossible. But again, because, well, we already filled this gap, right? We filled this gap here. But again, we might consolidate for a while. And since we're above the prior week's inflection, in my opinion, if this was regular times, this would still be bullish. That's why I'm saying we could break higher, right? But do not discount the fact that we might also go retest lower levels, as things settle down. Now, it's going to depend on what is the situation over there in the Middle East, what is going on with the Strait of Hormuz. Did I pronounce it well? Hormuz. It's going to depend on that, right? But if we're looking at this, if we were not aware of what was going on in the world, right, and we were just trading the price and trading the price action, this right there, so I'll put this here and here, right, this area would present three situations. Like I'm saying, we have the bull case. We've already tapped into this level twice. A third time would mean a break, right? And we continue higher and go retest those levels. This is the bull case. The bear case is this is a fake out and we move down and go retest those levels that we had prior. We go retest this inflection area that we have before, and maybe we, consolidate here before moving higher And then we have the neutral case, which to me is unlikely to last too long, is where we stay, you know, in this neutral consolidation pattern here for a while. Now, if that happens, that means, okay, the world is definitely uncertain and we're just in a holding pattern, and we're going to sell those resistance levels, we're going to buy those support levels until a highlight, some type of news highlight, lets us know, okay, this is what's going on. All right, I don't know if anyone has an opinion on oil, but this is my point of view right now, right? So my recommendation is, if you're trading, if you're swing trading, you know, you can swing trade with us with the fivers. You can hold your trades overnight during the week from Monday to Friday. You need to remember to close them by Friday afternoon, because you'll get a warning for that, by the way. But I don't know what your opinion is. Let me know in the chat if you have an opinion on that, on oil. What could oil do next? But anything is possible right now with geopolitical events going on, with uncertainty going on. Anything is possible. It's possible we could go and retap those levels, you know, break out, recheck those levels and go even higher. We went to 119. You know, that's really close to 120. I mean, I think the sell-off here were people anticipating that, okay, you know, let me sell before it reaches 120. It was anticipation there. So we'll see what happens. But let me know what you think. Let me know in the comment what you think about oil. Do you trade oil? What is your opinion there? So we'll see what happens as the war unfolds. Also, all right, so let's look at, let's take a quick look at gold again. Nice move. We're moving nicely. This is an hourly chart, by the way, gold futures. And the levels you see here, we talk about every week in our newsletter. So let us know. Let me do a quick check on the stream. Let me make sure everything is going on. Okay. Storage says, so it says you haven't traded oil before. Yeah, it can be tricky. It can be tricky to trade. You know, for example, right now, liquidity can be thin on oil, and the risk can be pretty high. So it's something you have to be careful with. There is a micro contract for oil. It's called MCL. So you search, you can't see my tab here, but if you want to look for it, you can just click the plus sign here and you'll have a window pop up and you'll get MCL. So now I'm selecting it. We'll do 60-minute chart. So that is that's the contract right there. All right. So maybe trade the micro oil contract if you're interested in trading oil, but be careful with it. It's something I definitely don't trade intraday. Something that I would rather trade overnight. So let's look at gold. Let's look at it closer. Drop down to a 15-minute. Gold is having a nice reaction. We're going to see. Oh, we're about to open in 1 minute. So let's switch back. Let's go back to our friend, the Nasdaq. Let's see how we react. We have about 40. Yeah, we're about to open in a few. So we'll see what happens. This is what I'm looking to trade today. And we will see what happens. Let us know. Let us know if you're bullish or bearish today. What are you guys trading? Chat is quiet today. The chat is quiet. Let's see what happens there. All right. Whoa, nice. We're taking off. We're taking off. The bulls are so far taking control. All right, as we have this going on, let's look at the ES. ES is having a similar reaction. We're looking good. We're breaking. Let me go down to a 1 minute chart. All right, there's good volume behind this. Can I control my risk on this? We'll see. We'll see if this holds. I'm not going to take the trade right now. We'll wait. Let's look at the YM real quick. I know we had some Dow traders. Dow is having a nice reaction also. Let's drop down to a higher time frame. Okay. Let's go back to our friend the Nasdaq. Nice reaction there. All right. So yesterday I was talking about other things I look at, which are the VIX, the advanced decline, the tick chart, and the Volt ratio. So I'll share that with you in a few. I'm just looking at these indices right now because we're looking pretty bullish. Want to decide if we're going to take this trade or not, even though it would be hard to control our risk right now. So we'll see if we get it's a nice opening drive. I think this one might run without us, and we'll maybe have to try and buy a pullback. All right, this is reacting very well. We're above 25,000, which is nice. We're above my inflection point, which is nice as well. So we'll see what happens there. We'll see if they sell this previous pocket. So this area right here, right under here, right? This would be an area of interest. So if I was selling, like I was telling you guys, this is where I would take my first profit. So if I was in and I had kept my position, this is where I would taking my first profit. Now, if we do it logically, we had, yeah, this is about 100 points from these lows. And then from these lows, let's measure. This is about 180. Yeah, just about 180. So just under 200 points. So it's logical if there is some profit taking here. And we see a quick pullback before we move up. So hopefully that's what we see. Hopefully we get a nice pullback and we get something that makes sense for us to buy and go long off of. We'll see. Now, if it's a complete rejection, then it won't make sense. So we've switched back to a 5-minute chart. I'm going to put my hourly and my 5 minutes side by side. So we're selling, we're seeing some good selling right now. Let's drop to a 15 because it's early in the day. I want to see a lower time frame. All right. Let me just take a quick look at the other indicators. See what's going on. And I'm also looking at individual names. So like Apple, Nvidia, Tesla. All right, Tesla looks green. Nvidia is actually ticking down. Microsoft is ticking down. Amazon is ticking down. Meta is ticking up. Let's look at, yeah, Apple is ticking up as well. Let's zoom down to 1 minute. All right, our buyer is stepping in. Okay, this doesn't look very convincing yet. We'll see. we're looking at volume. Let me open my volume profile to see our point of control is still there. So let's hold. Another thing I like to look at is the flow map. So if you guys didn't know, Black Arrow has bought Bookmap for our Bookmap users, and it's something I usually like to look at the flow of orders. So yeah, and basically what we're looking at is we have volume there. Depending on how, let me fix the settings real quick. Let's put by heat. So the redder an area, the more orders are there, right? The more orders there are. So yeah, right now it's pretty fast. I like to look at it a little bit later, but the redder the area, the more heat there is. Okay, buyers are stepping back in. But we're seeing some rejection here, you know? You see how those wicks, these are wicking down, so we're seeing some rejection. And if this was a trend, let me put my lines. Let's do... Yeah, this would have been rejection. So we are not yet where I want to see this. I am neutral biased right now. And as you can see, I jump from, let me put this on the side. So you could make this, you can put this outside of your trading window and drag it. So that's what I'll do. I'll put it on the side. It's on my right. I'm looking at it on my right now. So let's see. This is a pretty significant rejection here. Pretty significant sell-off. So I don't know if we're gonna go and retest the POC, the point of control right there. Are we gonna retest those lows and do some kind of liquidity sweep, similar to what we did yesterday? So we'll see what happens, and we'll decide whether or not we want to take our trades there. Or maybe buyers will step in. The volume is dying down right now. So we'll see if buyers want to step back in. Let's take a quick look. Okay, buyers seem to be wanting to step back in. Let's look at a 5. All right. For my opening range, guys, we can draw a quick box for you to see the opening range. Where's my box tool? Okay, so opening range so far is here. Let's make this bigger. Where's 930? 930 is here. Yeah, opening range is from here to here. So until 9:45. Today, I'm going to be patient. And see what happens. Yeah, so far, this is the range. We'll see how we react to this range. Let's look at some other assets. Let's look at the ES. Okay, the ES had some good rejection here, forming a new bottom. You see how I had put this little resistance line? We tried to break out of it, but now we're trading under it. So far, you know, buyers and sellers are fighting for control. We'll see who wins the fight. Let's look at gold again. Let's go to my weekly analysis layout. So we're still in this channel, not too huge moves there. Let's look at oil. And oil is moving lower. All right. Let's go back to our friend, the Nasdaq. We're looking at the micros because we want to keep our size very small. Okay, so we'll see. A few areas of interest for me are either here, what we can do in this area. You know, if we go back and touch that initial point of control, or if are we going to do a liquidity sweep and pull back there, that would be somewhat bearish. Or are we going to, you know, be able to hold around this VWAP area and break above my inflection point right here, which is where it got sold. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime, where are you trading from, guys? Where are you trading from? We have Spain in the house. I know we have Spain. I'm in the US. But let me know where you are from. Where are you watching us from? Let me know, let me know, let me know. All right. Looking at some rejection here. So we'll see. Today we're gonna be pretty patient. We don't want to be too patient like yesterday. So we could take a look at what happened yesterday real quick. I'll show you. Oh, wait. Let's keep a lookout. All right, we're seeing some interesting moves right now. Let me look at my indicators. All right, the range is widening. By the way, I have preset take profit and stop losses on Black Arrow. And for you to do that, you go here and you click on the plus sign. You will get this little cogwheel, and it will open a window where you could preset your, you know, gain. You could do it in cash and ticks and percentages. And when you hover over the chart and you press Alt, it will give you a sell position. And if you hover and press Shift, it will give you a buy position. So you could decide whatever you want to do there. I have like a 1-to-1 bracket where I'm risking 50 points to make 50 points. And I have a 2-to-1 where I'm risking, wait, this is kind of wrong. All right, we're selling. Sellers are pushing the price down so far. We are looking to tap into this point of control here. So we'll see what happens there. No trades for me so far. I'm just not seeing what I want to see yet. Let's look at a higher time frame. Okay. So the range is widening. If you're using a 15-minute opening range, the range, you know, would be going lower. If you're looking at the range up until 9:45, this would be your range right now. We need both open. So we'll see. We're under VWAP. Sellers are in control. But this is pretty whippy right now. We don't have clear direction yet, at least in my opinion. So we will see what happens. All right, buyers are stepping in. They're stepping in with volume. This is looking interesting. Let's see what happens there. Are they able to push past this previous cluster here that we had of sellers? You see how we had wicks. So we'll see if they're able to push past that. Buyer stepped in just above my previous area of interest. So this is good. 15-minute candle is about to close. All right, we closed. We saw volume coming in. This is looking interesting. I'm going to take my first trade here. So we'll see. All right. So I'm looking for us to break above this if they can hold. So that would be my first trade of the day. We'll see if it works. I'm looking for sort of a breakout and for buyers to regain control. Maybe this was just shorts covering and a false signal, but we'll see. This is kind of, after this initial move, kind of the pullback I was looking for. If this cannot hold, then we'll stop out. I won't risk the whole 200. I'm looking to get out. If we go back to retest those lows, I'll probably get out. So we'll see. I'm looking for buyers to really take control again and push this thing higher. And we're aiming for those previous highs. So we'll see if buyers can make this happen. So far, we're looking good. Let's put this bigger. Let me know, chat, are you in a trade? Quick question, Deza. I'm still learning Black Arrow. Where's the best place to do this? I'm still a bit clunky on using it. All right, Stuart, I see your question, but you said, where is the best place to do this? What do you mean by this exactly? All right. We might be forming a second high, by the way. Let me know what you mean by this. Are you talking about where you put the risk parameters, or what are we talking about? All right, we're on a 5-minute chart right now. Just to see what happens there. We are, by the way, opening range. Let's just form it again for anybody who's trading an opening range. Our opening range was this, from here to here, right? This is our opening range. Right now, we are in the middle of the range. I do not want this to trade anywhere below the range. And so far, that's what's happening. So we'll see. Like I said, if we get to these levels, I will get out of the trade. This stop is like a safety in case we get some weird moves. So we formed a high, we formed a lower high, we formed our initial low. So this, what might happen here is we continue lower. I looked at this as a pullback and a push higher because we had, we had volume here and here, right? And I figured buyers were stepping in. So we'll see. We're still below this this inflection point, and we've seen rejection here. So if by the next candle we're not really moving up, I'll probably hit out, because this should be a quick reaction and a quick move higher, and the reaction we got here is not ideal. All right, so we'll see what happens. We'll give a little bit of time to see how buyers react. We're probably still consolidating, still finding our direction. So we'll see. Higher time frame, 15 minutes. We're still waiting. We're about 5 minutes into the 15-minute bar. So what we want now is, like I'm saying, a nice reaction for this to move up. So again, to answer Stuart's question, if you're talking about how to, place the buy orders, then let me show you really quick. Let me go to a clean chart. So you would go to the chart, right? You would press Shift, you hold Shift, and then you press you hover above the what's it called? You hover above the chart. So if you're pressing shift and you're hovering above the chart like this, then you can, you know, place the order, and you will press a buy limit order. If you want to sell, you hover with Alt, and wherever you want to place the order, you'll place it. Now, you see, I have my order, and then I also have my stop and my take profit already in there. The way you set that up is you go into this. So you click this little icon there, it will open this. You click the plus sign, it will open a bracket so that you are able to place your order. I mean, sorry, to set your take profit and stop loss. So I hope that's what you mean. Let me know. And yeah, hopefully that works out for you. And if you need, more specific answers, you could ask again in the chat and I will answer you. All right. So our what's it called? Our bulls are struggling right now. You could see that we're really trying to push higher, but the bears are really pushing the asset down, So that's not what really we want to see. We want to see a decisive move up, like we had prior. We would prefer to see, a move like this, and then maybe a pullback there, and then another decisive move there, and maybe retesting this. And then the hesitation we're seeing here, it would have been better to see it up there. But we'll see what happens. We are now trading. Let's zoom out, look at a 5 minute. Yeah. So we are now trading above VWAP, but this again is inflection. We are under inflection. So this means we're still, the bears are more in control than the bulls. So I'm going to give this a little bit more time, see what happens. But I don't want to be holding it too long because it is not giving the reaction that I wanted and that I anticipated. We were looking for a breakout, which is not happening right now. All right, nice. So storage says that helped. He was placing trades longhand. Okay. Nice. I'm glad that helped. I'm glad that I was able to help. That's what we're here for. And I hope you have a green day. All right, so we are not seeing the reaction that we wanted, and it's about to be 10 o'clock. So let's look on the 5 minute, what that looks like. Let's be a little bit more patient and see if the buyers can really take control. I would prefer it to happen prior to 10 o'clock, but we'll see. Yeah, we keep seeing. So this whole area here, let me highlight it for you guys. This whole area here is where, sellers are pushing the price down. So right at that 25,000, 25,020, 25,040 area. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a push down. I was hoping that we could squeeze those shorts. So I don't know, maybe they'll buy here again, this area of interest. Where's my, right here in the 80s. But not yet so far. We'll see. Sellers are pushing this down. Yep, sellers are definitely pushing this down. So we're going to hit out. All right, first trade was not a good one. So now we wait. We're going to be patient. We're going to try to find a better setup. Opening range traders, that was the opening range right here. We're still inside that range. When we had this, influx of buyers here with the volume, I anticipated that we might be able to push up and push up higher, but that did not happen. We hovered here for a while, but we could continue pushing higher. So we will see. We stayed in the green for a little bit, but we couldn't hold higher. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys, what are you trading? What are you trading? Let me know. I know we have an ES and NQ trader in the chat. What else do we have? All right, buyers might be stepping in. We're going to have the 10 o'clock candle open in a few. We'll see what happens there. Let's look at some other assets. ES. So ES is retesting those levels here. Can these levels be flipped and reversed up? We will see. So far, we're bearish. Let's look at the YM. Oh, YM is selling off. Selling off pretty hard. How many points is that? Ooh, 300 points, and we're moving down. All right, let's go back. Just like yesterday, the NQ is holding up higher and better than the other ones. Now, this might be, yesterday we saw a liquidity sweep. So let's go back to the ES and let's look at what happened yesterday real quick. So yesterday, we were, somebody was asking about M patterns and W patterns. Well, yesterday, what happened is we trended down, right? Moved up, we had a sell-off there, and I was short, I think, about here for a while, held through this, and stopped out somewhere around here. I didn't try the long. But what happened yesterday is basically what I was trying to get for today, is that we had a push up, we had a liquidity sweep, and then buyers with volume stepped in and we trended higher. Right, so I was looking for a similar setup on the NQ today. Let's go back. Yeah, so as we pulled back here, right, and buyers stepped in with volume, I anticipated that we might get a continuation higher. Of course, we might get a little pullback like yesterday, but we might be able to push higher. But since we had a very long and large move up from yesterday, let's go to a 15-minute chart right here. There might be some profit taking happening, right? And buyers might not be ready to continue to push this higher just yet. So we'll see what happens. Let's go to actually the daily chart. Let's zoom out and look what's going on. So I don't need this anymore. This was old data. So, okay, so this whole candle, I think we moved 700 points yesterday. Oh, wow, we moved 1,000 points yesterday from low to high. Wow, 1,000 points. That's pretty significant. And today we opened above the close of that candle. So that's pretty positive. We'll see what happens and see what we can do with that today. So far, we're waiting. We're still above that point of control right there, which is interesting to me. So this might be the liquidity sweep we were looking for. We'll see. 10 o'clock candle just opened. Let's look at the hourly at the same time. Let's zoom in. Okay, so this was the first hourly candle we just opened here. So we will see, are they looking to push this lower, or do they want to push this higher? I mean, do they want to hold and push this higher? We'll see. So far, you know, we had one high, then we had a lot of selling here. Let me look at the range. 125 points for these days. That's not a huge range. All right, we're piercing through the point of control. We're targeting those previous lows. No second trade for me yet. We'll see what happens. Hey, look who's here. It is the man, Daniel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. No problem. You missed the start. We had one win, one loss. So we're just waiting to see what happens and see if we can find a setup. What are you looking at? Let me know. Are you looking at the Dow again? Are you looking to trade the Dow like yesterday? Yesterday, I know you were shorting, but things completely flipped on us yesterday. So let me know what you're looking at. And yes, you are forgiven. You didn't do anything wrong. Oh, you had a good YM again today? Nice, nice, nice. You caught the short. Let's look at the YM real quick. YM. Yeah, that was a nice short this morning. So me on the NQs, I caught the first. Uh-oh, I hear somebody in the background. Somebody's ringing the doorbell. Let me know when you're ready. Okay. Well, look who it is, chat. Look who it is. Let's give a warm welcome to Jane, aka Airplane Jane, because her portfolio always flies super high. How you doing?
Wait. I know you can hear me.
Yes,
there we go. All right. So
sorry.
I got my futures screen up. I got to get the trade the pool futures info, but I can share that if you want me to over on Thinkorswim. But I am seeing that, hey, the Qs are going to be dropping. Do you trade with pivots at all, David?
With pivots? No, not.
No. All right. You know what? I'm going to actually let me share my screen, and I'm going to show you what I see. It's going to be life-changing for you, probably, with futures. So hold on. Let me get this squared away. And if stuff crashes, it's because supposedly that I don't have enough memory. So I think I'm going to have to get a new computer.
It's fine.
Memory up here is good. Computer memory, not so good. All right. You should be able to see my screen now.
Okay. I see your screen. 1 second. There we go. And
all right. So I'm going to let's see if I can zoom in on this a little bit. This is the NQ over here. So I was talking about this live over with can you see it at all? Okay. Do you see these lines here?
Yes.
Okay, so that right there, 25.54 and 98 cents. That's our top today. Pivot. Yep. We broke the 25,000 and it pulled back a bit. Over here, this is our ES. Let me zoom it in. Well, we can come 60. Hold on. Let me undo that. Zoom out there. Scratch. Let's scratch that. Let's readjust. Sorry. I zoomed out when I shouldn't have zoomed out, and then I messed it up. Okay, so we have over here pretty much 68.33 and 50 cents. Our high for the day, or the Camarilla right there, 68.36 and 65 cents. So I really use these pivots with the futures because a lot of floor traders use them. A lot of floor traders were taught to use these pivots as an entry or exit. So I use it for trading stocks and also for trading futures and corresponding. Can you hear me okay?
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
Your the expression, I was like, am I just like I
No, no,
picked so
no,
many
no. I
on,
just
right?
I remembered I
Uh,
had pivots on the chart, so I was just pulling up the. I don't really use them, but I was pulling them up just to see if the levels you were telling me were on my chart as well. But no,
corresponding
yes,
to,
go ahead.
yeah. So I like the floor pivots, which is
Mhm.
person's pivots and Camarilla pivots.
Got it.
So with silver today, this is my silver chart here on the bottom left. You can see, boom, we came up to the pivot. The lines are Camarillas
Hmm.
and these are pivots. So we topped out, oh my goodness, right at the pivot,
Right at the
right?
pivot. Indeed,
We
indeed,
bounced
indeed.
off of the Camarilla, right?
Yep.
So I use those as targets for entries or exits, like a highway, right? You've got
Mhm.
your entry probably at a pivot or at a Camarilla or an exit. It's
Got
a
it.
nice target of opportunity. Obviously, we have former support and resistance as well, but for example, if we see silver go above the silver futures go above 89.95.30, we're going to likely see this is AG up here. We're likely going to see that that is going to move to the upside, right? Also with SLV. So I use them on my stocks and my futures. I
Okay.
trade mostly stocks, but I totally watch futures because if they stop in midair,
Uh
like
huh.
we saw the NQ futures not stop or halt, but it's traded its top right at that Camarilla. If I
Got
put
it.
on the Qs right next to it, we'll see that we had a top out at the same time during the 9:30 open, right here.
Yep.
And look at
What was your level for the cues right there?
which one? The top out, it's
Yeah.
609.40 for the
640.
Camarilla there.
Got it. I look at the cues a
So
lot also.
hopefully that's a big light bulb. Thank you.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Yes, I'm gonna actually have to add them to the chart because I know about pivots, but I don't personally use them. But it's definitely something to consider because, like you said, a lot of old floor traders used to use them, and they're still a great tool to continue using today. So definitely, definitely great there, especially when you see how well we react off of those levels. So definitely something to add, and some members of the audience can consider adding to their arsenal.
Yes, and right now, so really watching that 606.12 level, we are breaking it on the Qs. That's a Qs
Indeed.
Camarilla. If we go below that, we've got below the 25,000 big money level. Look, we've got space on the NQ over here. Let me just expand this. So down to 24,861. So we could easily hit down to that 604.47 target on the
On
Qs
the cues,
based
yep.
fact that we broke the 25,000. We've got a bigger gap to go down. We've got bigger money selling. I've tracked the big money on the Qs. That is up at six. Hold on. Let me pull up my chart. It's 680. Let me just pull the chart up over here. Charts all over the place.
No, it's fine. Take your time.
The Qs, they've sold at too many things tiled over each other. 607.69. That's my big money level that we really need to break. And when I talk about big money, I'm talking about that biggest wallet in the room. I don't care who it is, but that's
We
where the
don't.
volume traded. And if it's above me, they're selling. I
Yep.
called it out on the Trade the Pool live stream today. I think we're going to have a bearish engulfing on the day.
Nice, nice, nice. Well, we'll see. We'll see where that will take us. So that's the level on the Q, which would mean that would take us to where on the QQQs, on the NQs, that would take us to where?
Uh, we sort of overlap it here, but I would watch both because if you're trading one, the other one could dominate. It's like
Yeah.
watching the VIX
Hmm.
and the SPY. When they're both going up, somebody's lying. So right now we're seeing a little bounce on NQ, a little bounce over on the QQQ as well. However, it's just a bit of retracement. Still looking for now 606.12 to hold as a resistance. If I'd gotten short, I would use that as my stop out point, sort of corresponded over to the Qs. If that
Yep.
breaks, sorry, on NQ, if that breaks on the Qs, then watch for that to move up on NQ as well.
All right. Well, we will see what happens. What happens now? For the ones who don't know you in the audience, Jane,
Yeah.
can you tell us a little bit? Give us a little bit of an intro. I know you've been in the markets for a while, so a lot of experience there. So tell us a little bit about you. Maybe a little bit of how you got started, and some fun facts we might want to know.
Yeah, for sure. So actually, my first job out of college was at a bank. It was in
Nice.
Memphis. It was tiny. I'm originally from Washington, D.C. And I was like, you know what? This is kind of boring. Memphis is a little small. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to see who's hiring. I want to move to Atlanta. I'm the type of
Okay.
person, I say it, I do it, and there's no like, there's no stopping this freight train. Um, so I was looking, and that was, yep, back in 2000. And so who was hiring in 2000? Brokers. So
Nice.
I got hired as a Series 7 licensed assistant to four different brokers. So I was licensed at the time. We had paper tickets and we had a trading desk, and I was writing those paper tickets for the clients. And little did I know that I would be coming back to it now 11 years ago. But it was the first layoff of my life in 2001 when that dot-com bubble imploded. I learned about margin, I learned about options, and I said, this is not for me right at the moment.
Yeah.
I had a broker that had been there for 25 years asked me to take over his book and his clients, and I thought, nah, no. I saw the devastation. I thought, I don't want to be responsible for that. I'm too
Yeah.
young. I've got too much life to live. So I went off to culinary school over in Europe, and then,
Interesting. Wow, that's a total. Speaking of
yeah,
pivots,
yeah.
that's a total pivot.
Oh yeah, and you know what's hilarious is on my resume, I had here's the thing about like you want to say manifestation or like
Uh
putting
huh.
it out there. I had written on my resume that I wanted to go to culinary school in Europe at some point.
Really nice.
Yeah, when she gave it back to me after I took a voluntary layoff, so I got paid to go to culinary school.
Okay.
Um, that I was like, wow, look at that. That was the first time that the light bulb went off about actually like creating things in the future. Anyway, uh, so then I moved back to Philadelphia. I started a wholesale pastry business. I got into real estate. Oh, wait,
Oh
2007.
man, your
Now get
timings are insane. You got in the markets in 2000, and then you you got in real estate in '08. Like
Yeah,
this
I
is
basically paid
interesting.
myself to learn about education, finance. I did insurance when I was in college. I worked in a bank. I worked at brokerages. I worked in mortgages and real estate. And then, I saw the negatives, but it taught me all about it. So
Yeah.
I'm not fearful because I saw it from the inside.
Yeah.
And so then I went into real estate agent, rentals, and I met my husband, immigrated up to Canada. I was working at the airlines at the time, so I kept my job. So I had one right, I transferred bases and stuff like
Hmm.
that. Then, lo and behold, married, pregnant,
Hmm. Fun
laid
stuff.
off again. Laid,
Really? Oh
yeah.
man.
And it was a reduction in workforce. So I
Okay.
had to figure out what I was going to do. And he said, you know what? You took a $25,000 swing trade and turned it into 250,
Oh wow.
250,000.
Nice.
So why don't you look at trading? And I thought, you know what, this is great flexibility. And so I started, my oldest is 11. So I started 10 and a half years ago. Um,
Okay.
and I started day trading. Tim Sykes was really big.
Yes.
And so
Don't we know Tim Sykes?
yeah, I started with Tim Sykes, and You know what? I blew through my $6,000 account, and then it was really when I started paper trading that it clicked.
Nice.
And then I realized I don't like small caps. I don't like micro caps. That's not for me. But just because I didn't have
Preach.
success with that, yeah, it doesn't mean that it's not going to work. I learned, but my reactions, I mean, I was trying to change my baby and I had in a stop on a super low float with a stop limit. And my limit, the gap was not big enough. It just
Yeah.
poof, blew
Yeah.
right through me. So I learned a lot. Um, but then I came back to it and I started trading large cap and I started having a lot of success.
Nice.
And then I started learning. I wrote a book about female day traders. I've hosted trading webinars in person called the Modern Trader Summit. And then I started learning about dark pools, block trades, the futures, just sort of stacking it all on, CMT studies.
Hmm.
And now I just, it's a passion, love it. And I'm here, almost, I'm every day live streaming when I can, unless there's a family event going on. My mom's also 80. I do have two kids. So that was the whole reason why I got into it, was flexibility, but I love
Yeah.
sharing, educating, and helping others prosper.
Awesome. 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 Well, that is a really if I could see that story in a chart, it would probably look like this. So
There's
that
highs,
is
there's lows, but overall it's growing.
it, overall is growing, and we're
And I do have
glad
my pilot's license, so that's where the airplane comes into it.
you have a pilot's license.
Yeah, I got it back in 96.
Oh, nice. That is great. That's something I've always wanted to learn. Unfortunately, I get airsick a lot. It's been getting better with age. I'm still thinking about it. I don't know, but nice, nice, nice. I didn't know you could really fly, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, interesting, awesome story there. We're glad you made it through those interesting 2008s. Very, very interesting times to enter anything market related. But glad to have you here. Glad that you're going to be able to share all your knowledge here. You already started with the pivots that we were not looking at, so that's great. Um, just it's nice that you to hear that you did paper trading and that helped you a lot because I did that a lot too. And I have to say that I really didn't believe in prop firms at first, but if I'm still trading today, it's largely because of prop firms where it's like, a step or two steps above paper trading where there's actually something on the line.
Mhm.
And that's where I kind of found my stride because it took a lot of losses before that. So it's nice to hear that paper trading does help. I know a lot of people are not a fan. They say no, you're not gonna learn much from it after a week. But I think if you treat it seriously, it can help you a lot. Now we have prop firms, so you could
For
paper
sure. And
trade and make a profit.
yeah, and in the beginning, people don't necessarily want a paper trade because they want some skin in the game.
Exactly.
So if you are signing up for that evaluation and you do have skin in the game, but it's forcing you to learn the rules. That's the biggest thing, is that you really need to learn the rules, because if you don't have the rules down, you are just gambling
Yep, that
online.
is entirely true. That is entirely true. If you don't, I think that's the very good thing about prop firms is that it forces you to, you put your money on the line, and not too much, so it's not gonna, destroy your savings. And then you can learn, and you have to follow rules, or you just lose the account. So I think that is a great thing. Of course, you find the firm that works for you, the rules that work for you. There's options out there, but yeah, I think it's a great option to have. So well, we're just to go back as I'm looking at you, looking at the charts, looking at you, looking at the charts. We've just reacted well off of those 24 900s, those levels. That's where I was looking. I know you said we might be more bearish, but that's where I was looking to buy. So we will see what happens there
Yep.
on the NQ.
And here we are. Yeah. So you can also see we didn't have anything directly over here, but we came down and we came just below, right? We came to a round number on the
Yep.
Qs and bounced right there, 605.50 as a
Yes,
low.
indeed. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let me just show the chat really quick where I entered.
You can put it back on your chart. I just wanted to share that. I got to
No,
get the trade the pool futures login so I can.
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, so we're in here risking the prior lows. I didn't put my stop yet. And we'll see how well we react off of that. Maybe we go and retest VWAP. What I wanted to do also is actually pull up and put pivots on my chart just to show everyone that they can also use those awesome pivot points you were talking about. So I just added them right now. Pivot points, we'll turn them on. 1 second.
Do you have
All right.
Camarillas too?
I think I could do the settings here. Levels, parameters. Yes. So you can't see it, but I just clicked on the properties, and there's classic, traditional, and all the way down, Camarilla. Click apply. Okay. And we're getting pivots. So let me turn off the other stuff. Let's go there. Pivot points. Let me turn them on here. This way.
I think I might become a futures commodity trader after this year with silver, and I'm in silver stocks. I'm
Nice.
watching the dollar. The crazy thing is that
There we
as
go.
you learn more, you know what you don't know,
Yeah,
and then you understand how it all correlates together.
indeed. So there we go. We have I have my pivots on right now.
So you can see that 25.54, 25,054. Is that what you have there?
Yeah, 25. Well, it's actually 25.55. There
Okay.
might be a slight difference, but
It's
based on
54 and
how
98 cents. So
50,
same.
54.98. Yeah,
And you
pretty
can see,
close.
look how that was also support resistance right there. It was support and then flipped to be resistance.
Yep.
And if you didn't have it on your chart, it's like, why did it stop there?
Yeah, exactly. What's going on there? But yeah, it's they're I just wanted everybody to know that so I don't know if you know the platform we use called Black Arrow. Um Great platform, super fast. A lot of interesting tools there. And since Jane was talking about pivots, well, we have them available, guys. We have them available. I have a few people saying hello. Oh, we have Insomnia Trader, Daniel, who's our mod, who's saying Camarilla, I used 15 years ago. It can be very cool. Nice.
Very cool.
Thank
Now
you.
I got a
Thank you,
question for
Daniel.
you, David, because
Uh-huh.
I don't have access to Trade the Pool software. So I'm going to be asking you questions so that
Okay.
I can learn, because maybe I'm going to start doing this when my kids are asleep, because I'm thinking about homeschooling. I'm up
Nice.
early. So maybe that's my opportunity. But does it trade 24/7 with Trade the Pool?
With the Fivers futures, yes, futures trade 23 hours a day.
Right?
So there's just 1 hour off, but yeah, and great thing that we allow that most futures prop firm don't is that you can trade from Monday to Friday and hold overnight. So this is great if you're trading things like silver, gold, oil, which you can't really. I mean, I can't day trade these.
No?
Um, no, I can't day trade these. I've tried and I have not been able to succeed just yet. So yeah, the great thing is you can trade overnight if you want, and almost 24 hours a day. You have the Asian session, which starts at 6 p.m. Eastern, and then you have the London session that starts after that, and then of course your New York session. And we stop trading between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. the next day for an hour, for settlement to happen.
Mhm.
Futures are cash settled, and then trading starts over. So you could definitely try it out.
I know. I think I'm going to. I love. I mean, I love following the futures.
Hmm.
Definitely with stocks, oil, the dollar, like the dollar versus commodities, VX, the
Hmm.
VIX with the indexes. If one is, like I said, if they're both up, they're lying. One of them's lying. Same thing with the dollar. Yesterday as well, dollar was up and oil was up. Well, we
Yep.
saw that that was oil manipulation. Oil
Indeed.
was lying, and then they
Oil.
crashed it.
Yes.
Uh,
Oil.
I
Oil.
say they as those big money people.
Oil had a huge dump. That 17 hours we went from 119 all the way down to 85. That is an insane move for oil. So yeah, somebody was lying there. Somebody was lying. Can you expand on that? When you say, you're looking at two assets at the same time and one of them is lying, how do you come up with that deduction? What's the reasoning behind that, so the audience, maybe the less experienced users, can understand what's going on there behind your logic?
Yeah, for sure. So, as an example, like the dollar and commodities. So, when we are looking at the dollar purchasing
Yep.
power, as an
Hmm.
example, right? We have purchasing power of the dollar. So, when we have inflation, what happens? Things go up with cost. So the purchasing power drops. So you typically will see with inflation that the dollar value is dropping, but the prices of commodities are increasing. So
Hmm.
it's an inverse relationship.
Yep.
Much like you will see fear, the VIX. The VIX is dropping, then the indexes and everything is rising because there's no fear that the market is going to go anywhere. When you start to see uh, them trading in the same, positively correlated, then you know there's a big move coming. If one of them is out of whack, like oil yesterday, it was
Yep.
a precursor that all the other commodities were down except for oil. Yes, we had the Strait of Hormuz catalyst, but
Indeed.
they are in essence setting up a trade. Whenever I say they, I'm talking about in general the really big money that's manipulating the market.
Of course.
Roaring Kitty exposed that to the world, but unfortunately, Roaring Kitty did it in a way where if you are fighting a billionaire, do you really think you're going to win?
Yeah, that's a lot of headwind to fight there. You're fighting against the current. You're swimming against the current, like they say.
You're swimming
So
into a shark's mouth, basically,
indeed,
right?
indeed, indeed.
Have you ever seen that meme about the brand new trader and they're diving into the water and they're diving into a shark's mouth?
No, I haven't seen that one, but that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. So, they like retail traders because we provide liquidity. Those that are inexperienced don't understand the stock market's manipulated. Unfortunately, I saw before COVID happened
Hmm.
that there was going to be a major shutdown. I told my husband we have to go on vacation before this time. And we came back and I saw that it was getting even heavy. And I was trading options on the plane with the stock market crashing. I was like, score, paying for my
you weren't
vacation.
you weren't piloting while trading, I hope.
No, 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 no. And then we
Okay.
were on the shuttle bus. I'm like, do we have Wi-Fi on this? Yes. Right. Poolside. All right, honey. Paying for the vacation. Love this.
There we
Love it.
go. There we
Bye.
go.
Other people are like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. The market's crashing. I'm like, I saw this setting up for 4 months,
Yeah.
right? Like, I'm seeing the setup now. I'll share it with you and everybody else because
Please
if I
do.
feel guilty if I don't share, saying that I'm seeing the setup for the dollar crash,
Okay.
commodities to go up, potentially the indexes to drop. What does that mean? We're traders, risk in real life. What does that mean? Prep yourself with some food like COVID.
Yeah.
If everything goes crazy, prices go sky high with the dollar decoupling. We've already seen silver decouple. If you check out, there's the Shanghai price and then there's the Western Chicago
Hmm.
price. That they are at a $12 difference, 14% premium. So when you start to see things decouple, and Trump's touting himself as the crypto king, He wants to drop the dollar, push people into digital.
Yep.
With that going on, how do we prep? If I see this in the market, I see them rise, increasing the dollar just to sell into it at a former resistance, former big money level. If we go below 97.43 on the DXY,
Hmm.
get ready because it's going to get ugly. It's going to get really ugly for the dollar. You're going to see commodities spike, which means what's that going to cost due to oil? We saw that food prices with transportation goes up, and it creates a increase in cost to transport everything. So just while things are calm, prepare.
Okay. So that is interesting. So we're telling everybody to get ready for the worst here. Well, worst, they put a lot of fear into everybody during COVID, but I think we shouldn't be scared. Like you're saying, it's I think it's a good idea to prepare. By the way, you're talking about food. I know there's oh man, I forgot the name of that brand, but you could buy it and store it for 10.
MREs.
Yeah, MREs, but MREs are disgusting. I've tried these. Not they're kind of like MREs, but they're really tasty. So yeah, that is probably something people can consider. But before we go full prepper mode, I think people should, like you said, watch the markets as a gauge, um, to kind of see, okay, what's going on there, because I didn't realize it early, just like you. By the way, I pulled up the dollar index if you want
I
to
see it.
if you
Yeah.
want to look at stuff, as we talk. But I also have my trade that I have to monitor. Um, I have to look where I'm going to take profit, but we'll let it run. So far, so good. Um, yeah. So I think people shouldn't go into full panic mode, full prepper mode, but it's definitely good to be prepared. Not only in your personal life with whatever backup batteries and stuff like that, but it's also good to prepare your mind state for what might happen in the markets as a trader. For COVID, I have to say I was not ready. I was like, oh, this is a regular dip. I kept on buying the dip, buying the dip, buying the dip, and then I was like, wait, this dip keeps dipping. Speaking of memes, there's there's this meme where it's like you buy the dip, and then you buy the dip dippity dip that keeps dipping. That's what I was doing. And then it got to a point where, okay, I'm about to run out of money. What's going on there? And that's when it kind of, a light bulb switch went on. I was like, oh, something's not right. And this was end of December, uh, started end
2019.
of December, yeah, 2019, and kept on going, January stuff. So it was like, oh, something's different. This is dipping too much. So that should, put a light bulb up and let you know that something is weird there. Something is going on. But yeah,
Yeah.
to go back to the dollar index, I have the DXY on a daily chart pulled up here. So you're saying, oh, nice, we see some wicks there, so some rejection here.
Yeah. That they had. Okay. So they, again, broader, big money.
They,
Yeah. I'm not prejudiced who it is. As
yeah, it
if they're
doesn't matter.
selling, I don't want. It's the one time I want to go along with people, right? I'm
Yeah.
pretty much the nonconformist. I live my life to my own tune. But in the stock market, I'm learning that, hey, and listen, I'm learning every single day too.
Yeah.
That they have rejection levels at 99.12, 99.09, 98.65 is the next level to watch,
Okay.
for if it breaks above. Below that, 97.36 and 97.35. So if we
Okay.
go below 97.35,
Said 97.35 around here.
it's a good time to own some silver coins, maybe.
Nice. So
Because
if we go in and
you know,
tap
silver and
there,
gold over time, that's why I got them up in the background. Silver and gold have always been a form of payment.
yes,
If we
indeed.
were to go into a barter system, what do you barter? What are you going to barter with,
Yeah.
right? How much is that cooking oil going to be worth? How much with no, I'm serious. It's just putting it out there, not saying fear or panic. I think I
No,
froze. Oh, there we go.
no, you're here.
It's not saying fear or panic, but if you wanted to plan for something, right? We all survived the world shutting down. Nobody ever thought it
Yep.
would happen. So
Not
we
in
will
not in
survive.
that way. No, that's true.
Right. It's just how would you prepare if it were to do if the same thing were to happen, what would you do this time?
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
You did you learn? It's like did you learn from did you learn your lesson from last time, right?
Right.
World shut down. You know, everything was shut down. Depending on where you were in the world, maybe it was just a couple weeks or months. If you were in other parts of the world, you spoke of Canada. I have friends up there, and I mean that was like a 2 year shutdown. You know,
Hmm.
it was insane.
My husband,
So,
who's a pilot, was grounded for 19 months.
oh my god, wow,
19
that
months. I
is
couldn't go see my family because they shut the border.
yeah. So it's definitely good to put all that, take that into consideration. And I think we have an edge since we're trading on everybody else because we're constantly looking at markets. We're constantly looking at money flows.
Hmm.
The dollar is a very good indicator of what might happen in the world. In the futures world, we also talk about safe haven assets. So you have the Swiss franc and the Japanese yen
Hmm.
that I think people should look at. I think they should look at gold. Depending on how fast gold rallies, we actually had a significant drop. Let me pull up gold right now. We had a significant drop in gold when the bombing happened,
Hmm.
and that kind of piqued my interest. I was like, "Whoa, this is a little bit sharper than what I would have anticipated." So I think, yeah, right
You
here.
also, we broke above that 25,055 level, just to let you know if you want to trim potentially
Whoa,
or
yeah.
anything like that. Just giving you
I'm
the heads up.
No, you're fine. I'm actually only holding
Your
one
stop either way.
contract.
I'm good at
Yeah.
monitoring them.
Thank
Right?
you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't want
I
to,
want you to lose
go
money too.
back. I appreciate it.
There you go, right back
Yeah,
down.
that's actually where I would take my profit. So yeah, we're already 2 to 1. We'll just trim it there. Let's see, 25,
Nice
65.
trade.
Yeah.
And that's something else, experience wise,
All
the
right.
timing of the market,
Yeah,
45-minute blocks.
that is true. That is true. I always tell I don't want to, since I day trade and there are times I don't want to be holding trades in those. Well, I look at candles and hourly bars, and there are times where I don't want to be holding in between those hourly changes because you'll see weird moves there. Anyways, just quickly for the chat. Sorry, we got out of our trade. Man, what's happening? My jaw is locked. Yeah, we got out of our position. Let me pull up the pivot right at that 25.55 pivot, which was funny enough where we reacted this morning. So we'll see what happens. We got a nice 2 to 1 trade, so we recovered our initial loss and we're green for the day. And yep, that's good. Let's go back to looking at gold. Yeah, so what I was saying is we had a sharp rejection here that I really didn't anticipate. I didn't think we were going to react so heavily, but I figured, okay, maybe people want to get into cash. Fund managers want to have some cash on the sidelines to kind of buy things that are going to be on a discount. So I think this wasn't. I wouldn't call it panic selling. I would think people are probably going to be reallocating, but like you're saying, in my opinion, either way, war or not, gold was going to continue to move up and go and retest those highs, maybe it was going to take a longer time, but this is probably going to be a catalyst for the move to happen faster. So we'll see what happens there, but definitely watch gold, watch the dollar, and make your decisions based on how these assets move.
Even looking at that right there, you can see there's a really strong resistance and it's just about to break above. Also, I track the inverse ETFs. So
Okay.
GLL, when they GLL is showing me that they are long on gold, right? So because we are below the GLL level at 1877, that we are going to move up on gold.
Yeah.
ZSL, their bigger money level is 1869, I believe. Hold on one second.
You said
Gosh,
ZX.
I'm starting to get the levels memorized.
No, that's
Yeah,
fine.
1869. We just moved above there. So seeing that to me is saying, hey, we are full on bull and gold and silver. There is no copper short ETF. So that kind of tells you something too. Accelerated.
I'm glad you brought copper up, because that's the next thing I was going to ask you about. By the way, you're the one I'm betting on for that trade to pull thing. So,
Awesome.
and
You're
I
just saying
remember,
that 'cause I'm on live
no,
right
no,
now.
no, I'm not saying it because we're online. It's true. It's true. I'll send you the
Everybody else
screenshot
needs
if you
to come
want.
and bet on me too for that,
Yes.
please. Right? Let's put it out there. We are doing Market Madness. The link, hold on. I don't know if I can put the link in here. Can I?
Yeah, I
Can we
think you
put the
could
link
put
in?
it in the
I'm still
chat.
learning all of the streaming software, right? Like there's so much I'm also in the process of dealing with 5 different real estate properties. So there's a lot going on.
You always have a lot going on, huh? You can't sit still, Jane.
It's like, do I add on futures right now? No, maybe in the middle of the night. I got time for that.
Wait, I got to be careful. I got to think about this, because if you're going to get into futures right now, and you always get into things in a critical period, I got to be
It's
careful.
okay. Just go short. It's like tennis. You got a forehand and you
Just
got a
go
backhand.
short.
It's
Okay.
okay.
So
If you
you're
know this ahead of time, you can rock it.
you're the
Elevator up. No, sorry. Staircase up. Elevator down.
down. So you're like the peak. You're the indicator for the peak. Once we reach the peak, once
Same
Jane
drop.
steps in, it's the peak. You better get out. So okay, good thing to keep in mind. Oh man. Wait, let me see if I'm sharing the right screen. I'm still learning the ropes here as well
All good. All good.
for the trading. Yeah, I can't find the link right now. Trade the pool.
I'm trying to think what copper futures are. SC? No.
Copper futures is HD.
HG.
Yeah.
See, I knew it was.
And I don't know if you're on Trading View, the continuous one is HG1.
Oh no, I'm
That's
looking
it.
on Thinkorswim. I like the
Okay.
Thinkorswim futures for tracking it. My eyes are used to reading the bubbles and the lines.
Nice. Well,
That's something
whatever.
else from, you know, being a instrument rated pilot. I haven't flown in years,
Got
but
it.
as far as being an instrument rated pilot and a trader, you have to trust your tools. You have to trust your trading plan. It's crucial because if you doubt it,
Yep.
then
Then
you're in trouble.
you're in trouble. All right. And while Jane is looking at her instruments, for lack of a better term, just showing you guys the trade that was taken and the logic behind it. So we had discussed it this morning. I was looking to get in at those levels, those 24,900s. So we reacted nicely out of there, went back above my previous pivot point around 24,948 or 950. So I got in there, risking the prior lows, and we took a nice 2-to-1 risk reward trade. So got in there, risk was there. I got out at the previous pivot here. So green on the day, we covered the loss, and that will be my last live trade.
What is the Russell futures?
RTY.
RTY? RY?
RTY.
Yeah. And many times you will see, which I learned from Michael Noss,
Hmm.
is that the Russell and the Qs tend to somewhat be inverse correlated.
Interesting.
Yeah, that
Let me
when the
look at the
Qs are
Russell.
doing really well, the Russell tends to be weaker, and vice versa. And also talking about, I don't know if there's a futures for um, RSP, which is equal weighted. Is there an equal weighted futures for S&P 500?
I'm not sure. I would have to look into that.
Because that's what's the beauty of this too, is that when traders come together with different tools, different trading styles,
Uh huh.
different perspective, you get to see, oh, like I didn't even think about that, because the RSP basically takes out the mag 7,
Yeah.
so the top 7 stocks, which is
Hmm.
great. And when you start to see that one, they just put their position on. Oh, thank you, Insomnia Trader. That when you put that on and you look at it, and I was checking out the big money level there, that it seems like we might be topping out on the broader equal weight S&P 500.
Got it.
And
Let me pull those
it's
up
like
while
you're
you're.
saying, you might just want to go short if I'm getting into futures.
Yeah, you're my peak. You're my top indicator. I'll
It's okay. The beauty is you can do that in trading. You can
it's
do
true.
that inverse, that
It's true.
reverse positive trade.
There was I think there was who was talking about that. It was a trader who was in a group, and there was one guy that was well, actually no, the trader went to take a lesson from a guy, and the guy had a bunch of students, and he didn't really know how to trade. He just taught people how to trade, but he didn't really know, but he was constantly profitable. And then that, well, he's a famous trader now, I don't want to name him, but he asked the guy, hey, now I realize you didn't really know how to trade when you were teaching us. How did you trade so well? He just said, I did the opposite of what my students were doing. So whatever the students did, I did the opposite, and it paid off. I'm like, man, wow, this is this is interesting. So that was his indicator. Do the opposite of what the students are doing, and you do well, because most beginners, they're not doing the right things. So yeah, we were talking about, just to go back to what we were talking about. We were talking about the Russell RTY. This is the
Yeah.
Russell right now, and the Russell is moving nicely. We took out those highs. Let's look at the Qs. All right, so the Russell is actually very strong. So you said, Michael, could you repeat what you told me? Michael
So
Noss
that,
said.
yes, typically when the Russell, which is going to be, so it's the Russell 2000, which is going to be a 2000 basket of
Let me put it.
stocks for the broader
Yep.
market, that when those are these sort of smaller businesses that are
Yep.
not the larger tech stocks, right? The NQQ or NQ is going to be 100 stocks.
Hmm.
So when we see that the Qs are moving up, that typically the Russell will be moving down. We do have some positive correlation today, but uh, it was interesting in January. It was like spot on that the Russell was doing really well while the Qs were lagging, because money flow, right? Money is like water, and it's
Yep.
going to flow somewhere. So our job as traders, if you are a long bias trader, if you see something that's moving down, where is that money flowing? It's
Yep.
always going to be going somewhere.
That is
Um,
true.
and so looking to also, I add into my daily scans I do in the morning. I start off at 8:15, and I'm looking at top 5 or 6 cryptos. I'm looking at inverse indicators. I'm looking at the dollar. I'm looking at for day trading, the gapping stocks. I'm looking at the broader indexes as well. And now I'm going to have to add on the futures. Man, I mean, there's
There
just
you
not enough
go.
day.
Make your little list. Just do like me. I have my major futures there, and then I just have the major ones: the NQ, the ES, the Dow, the Russell, the oil, gold, silver, and then I threw in copper and corn right there. Just because I didn't want to leave them behind. But it's not a long list. You can handle that, Jane. Come on.
I know, I know. I've just kind of,
So
it's when
quick.
I start talking and then I'm like, oh, what about this? Oh, this is so
There you
interesting.
go.
So I just discovered uh, the crypto ETFs as well. There's broader crypto ETFs for people that want to get in. Like I was mentioning about Trump saying he wanted to go into crypto, be the crypto king, looking at how all of, if you, there was back in 2020, I was looking at ISO 20022. That was
Hmm.
set up to go into effect in 2022. It was supposed to be removing the current wire system. All right, it was
Hmm.
supposed to be new technology to remove the wire system that was set up back in the 1950s. Done bank like research and all that sort of stuff. First bank, funny enough, the Vatican. Uh,
Wow.
so with that, that they were looking to implement crypto since 2022. So they've been trying to really implement this around the world,
Hmm.
but have not really had that much luck. What happened to gold and silver back in 2022
Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. We'll look at the
or
futures.
2018 to 2022?
We'll put it on a we'll put it on a weekly chart. Zoom. Wow, this is insane.
So we really
2022.
have sort of that breakout zone on both silver and gold that's set up, right?
Yep.
Silver, once it broke the $18 mark, it moved up to about 24, 27 in like 10 days. Um, and so it's reminiscent, but this is a bigger move. They really want, in my opinion, right? This
Hmm.
is not financial advisors, it's our opinion. Full disclaimer that they have had issues in funding the government.
Yeah.
Where does the money come from? They write a bill, they print the money. They
And
have been having rolling votes. In fact, TSA workers now, if you're traveling, get ready for lines because they are going to work for free at the moment.
yeah, I mean, I've traveled recently. There's CSA, but there's for anybody that uses global entry, you can't use it, and the lines were insanely long because they put a huge patch and said we don't have funding. That's why you're. So yeah, it is
Yeah.
an
So
issue.
right now, are they able to fund everything
Well,
with the
clearly,
Fed dollar? No.
clearly not.
They had Kraken partner into the Fed in the past week.
Hmm.
They're setting up for that transition. Well, remember that 30% of the world doesn't even use banks.
Yeah,
Do they have the technical infrastructure to make it work around the world to go with crypto? Not really.
not at all. And I'll
But
tell you. Uh-huh.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was gonna just quick thing. As a crypto user myself, it's very clunky. It's not easy to use. It's not user friendly. So no, we're not ready there.
There are people in the Western world, yes, that they use crypto, but you go to like the African Sahara, they're trading meat, they're not trading crypto.
Yeah.
And so you have to remember that as much as they push it, there's always an underlying reason behind the why is it crypto, why is it no longer the US dollar since 1944 with Bretton Woods? Why? Because that purchasing power is in the toilet. They don't have the ability to really print anymore. So they need a scapegoat. They need to
Yeah.
get into something else. And I think that's the big catalyst that we're going to see is that the push come to shove, where they really try to push it, is because the dollar is just so much in the toilet,
No, the
unfortunately.
the dollar is completely in the toilet. That debt number is insane and ridiculous, and that debt, let's put tinfoil hats on, but nobody's going to pay that. It's never going to get paid. I mean, it's just impossible. There's somebody that did a comparison between the debt and if that was a mortgage. It's insane. What is it now? 38 trillion.
I don't. It's
There's,
it doesn't
I
matter. It's
think
going
it's
up.
there's actually a website that shows you the debt and how it's
Yeah, the
growing all the time. Yeah,
debtclock.org.
the debt clock thing. I'll look for it. I think it's 38 trillion. And somebody compared that to, if you had a mortgage and you owed $380,000 on it, and whatever they were doing, the decisions they were taking, oh, we're gonna cut off like 4 billion there and whatever. He's like, that's like having this mortgage that you owe $380,000 on it, and then saying, no, I'm gonna pay $40.
Right.
It doesn't even make
It
a
doesn't work.
dent. It doesn't work. So, tinfoil hats on or off, whatever you want to say. What you're saying is making sense. It's they need an escape. They need an escape from that dollar. We're gonna get a new Fed chair soon, so we'll see how It's going to be interesting to see how he navigates all that, and what's going to happen there. So we'll see.
Just sent
We'll
you the
see.
link on chat there, David.
Yeah, sure. Let's see. US debt clock. Yeah, exactly. USDebtClock.org.
38 trillion.
Yeah, 38. All right. I was
Okay, now if we're on that screen, right? And you go to the commodities screen, hold on. Let me see, where is it on here? I
there it
think it's
is.
drop
38
down.
trillion 865 blah blah blah. On
There's
that
another
US debt clock, I'm on there.
go gold supply maybe.
Money
No,
creation,
no.
precious metal reserves, gold supply.
It's metals. Where'd you see the metals?
Wait,
You click just on
precious
metals.
precious metal reserves. Oh, gold and precious metals.
Maybe it's on the. Okay,
So
let me
here
come
we
back.
have gold, silver, platinum.
No, that's not it. There's an actual page to show you the amount of futures versus the physicals. Oh, here it is. Yeah, gold and precious metals on the bottom right. So this is the reality.
You want me to share your screen?
No, I'm shooting it to you. 2 secs.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Negative. That's not it. Oh, maybe I can put it here. I just put it in a group chat. I'm not sure. Did you see that one? Is that everyone? I'm still navigating.
Yeah.
Here we go. I got it.
US debt clock.
There we go. Okay. So this one, when we look at it, we see that on the bottom right,
Mm-hmm.
where we talk about the paper to silver ratio. So not the last column, but the one to the
Yeah, the
left.
one before.
381 contracts to each 5,000 ounces to supply the world. Now,
Yeah.
of course, they are constantly producing silver, and it comes on. I started studying silver back in 2020 and started stacking back then. Less than 0.5% of the world owns more than 500 ounces of silver, personally.
Yeah.
So if you have 100 ounces, you're like in the top 10% of the
Yeah.
world for
Yeah.
owning silver. That this right now is where the drive and the squeeze price is coming in, because so many people are buying it, but it's the industrials of everyone says, oh, well, back in the 80s, yeah, this happened, and then it dropped. But the industrial usage was not the same. The actual manufacturing and need for production was not the same. So it creates a scenario where this is a real life short squeeze of the supply, as opposed to just options, gamma, or stock shares.
Yeah. Indeed. These are really some interesting numbers. I'm looking at the paper to gold, which is at 142. That these are some interesting numbers there.
Yeah.
If everybody wants to go check them out, go to usdebtclock.org, and
I
you
don't know
could
if you can
have
put
a
that
look.
in the chat. I don't know where we're streaming. Are we streaming on YouTube as well, or where are we?
Yeah, we're streaming on YouTube.
Okay, perfect.
We are on YouTube. I have somebody saying here, I haven't seen, who's that? Walter. I haven't
Yeah,
seen Jane
Walter.
in a while. Hi,
Walter, where do I
Walter.
know you from? Just my live stream in the morning? I feel like I knew Walter used to join me on my live streams.
Interesting. Well, Walter's back.
Or I'm back.
Um,
Either one. We realigned.
there we go. We're aligning. We're aligning. I have to answer this quick question here. He says, "Hello guys, I currently have a bootcamp 20K account and wanted to try for futures. Are there any restrictions?" No, there are no restrictions. You can keep trading your bootcamp and you can sign up for the futures accounts with the fivers. No problem at all. You can get up to 2 accounts. You can sign up for either a base camp or a rebate. The difference is the base camp you pay commissions, but it's a lower entry fee. And for the base camp, the commissions are discounted after the end of the day. I just realized, Jane, it's already 11 o'clock, so we have to unfortunately end the stream, but it's been super interesting, super interesting first one. Lots of info there. I'm glad you reminded us of pivot points. It
Mhm.
was nice to get a win with you on stream for the first time. You brought me good luck. You didn't you showed me the
And it
bottom.
wasn't even to the short side.
That's what I was about to say. It wasn't even to the short side. So that was great. The NQs is still, moving up. So that's good for anybody else who is trading that today. And anything else you want to add before we leave, Jane?
Anyone looking to buy in Florida an investment condo? We are selling ours because we're moving there. Hosting a virtual live stream. It's on my Twitter. Join at 1:30.
All right. Well, thank you very much, everyone. We will see you tomorrow, same time, 9 a.m. Eastern until 11 a.m. Eastern. And as
And I'll see you
usual,
next Tuesday.
I'll see you next Tuesday. All
Oh, that
right.
sounds bad. We got to change
What?
that. Sorry, it's from Sex in the City. Yeah, we don't want to say that.
We don't want to say that. We'll find another one. We'll find another one. Anyways, guys, this
Till
was a
next week.
great
I
one.
mean, how about
Till
that?
next week, and have a great end of your week. Take care.